Oh, God, we finally lost. It's all over. The season's done. The dog pee pullover has been vanquished. Welcome to Spaces, guys. I'm going to probably do an abbreviated one now. I don't have any New Year's plans, so me and my wife hate New Year's. So might come out later and do a more longer one, but I figured for some quick reactions, folks may want to hop on, blow off some steam, chew off your fingernails, have some completely atrocious and terrible takes about today's game. Always positive to do after a loss, which we haven't had this year. It's weird. We lost a basketball game. No fun to lose basketball games, but it was going to happen eventually. And yeah, so lost a basketball game today. Not our cleanest effort today. Some timely turnovers. A not so timely technical foul down the stretch. The referees probably don't deserve the benefit of the doubt, but it is what it is, guys. Didn't get to the foul free throw line very much. And give Xavier's guards some credit. They didn't turn over the basketball today, which is pretty incredible. You think about how much they turn the basketball over. So we talked a little bit about this. What would the formula look like, to beat a UConn team? And you beat this UConn team this year. And, it kind of starts with, number one, I think team having an uncharacteristically good day in a couple of key areas. Certainly, that happened with Xavier today, not turning the basketball over. So give them some credit. Um, getting caught out in between a little bit. We saw a little bit about that today. There were bad decisions that were made. I think I was more concerned, at least in the microcosm of today, not so much with the bad decisions, although you don't like seeing those happen. More concerned with a lack of decisions. We got caught out in between a lot, and it wasn't just the players. It seemed like the coaching staff was a little in between in terms of what they wanted to do, particularly down that stretch run, second half. Going zone, going man-to-man. Maybe he could have brought Hassan Diarra into the game a little bit earlier. Kind of felt like that would have been the right call to go. But when you're playing a 1-3-1 zone, you're trying to mix up the look a little bit. You want to have the longer guy, in the rotation too. So I can kind of understand, them wanting to maybe go with Tristan Newton down the stretch there. But people want to come on and talk. Not really in the mood to talk shit today, Dopey. So you can go somewhere else. I'm not going to bring you in today. But if anybody else wants to request and blow some steam off and chew their fingernails off and endlessly put players under the microscope and question their long-term viability, this is what we do here. So feel free to request up. I'm going to be kind of doing a abbreviated spaces while I'm doing some work, believe it or not. I have a little side gig that I do, so I'm doing a little copy and pasting. So yeah, wasn't well, first of all, wanted to say too, that Xavier crowd today was bold. They absolutely delivered on pretty much every front today that I thought they would. Very drunk crowd, very loud crowd. So really brought it today. Anyone who wants to hop on, I'm kind of running out of things to say. I'm going to be halfway distracted, guys. This isn't going to be the special space. I'm going to wait for later tonight when I'm good and who's cowed, and then we can really get into it. But anyone who wants to request, we got Tyson here. See what he's got to say. Tyson, man, welcome to Spaces. Go for it.
I mean, it's just embarrassing the way Hurley picks up that technical. I mean, you just can't have that. And that kind of stuff going on. I mean, I get it's been good so far this year, but that lost us the game.
Yeah, in consort with a lot of things. The timing was terrible. The other part is though, you got two sides to that, right? I don't want to give these referees the benefit of the doubt at all. And I can understand being a little hot. And who knows what he said, too. It could have been something fairly innocuous. Maybe he wasn't riding the lightning. It's only his second tee this year so far. So I think overall it's been better. But the timing was awful. I think what was worse was the 3 turnovers that kind of were swirling around it. And, there were some key possessions where we were within 2 and you get the rebound. and we're, football passing the ball up the court to Adamas Sanogo way too far into the basket. Like, just not taking care of the basketball in really key situations and valuing turnovers. I definitely think it was kind of the knife in the kidneys, right? Certainly didn't help, but like there was just so many other things going on, particularly on the defensive end, that like I can't say that's the reason that we lost the game. We lost the game because of our defensive rotations were shitty. We lost the game because of a lack of decision making. And give Xavier credit, man. Like their guards came to play today. They were outstanding. They ran some really good sets. Jack Nungy giving us fits yet again. It feels like every time we go out there, that fucking goof's got something. But yeah, not happy with it. That was a fucking brutal point to get that, but I'm kind of on the fence there, just in terms of, maybe the refs. They seem to have a very itchy whistle.
I mean, it's not the first time he's kind of lost his temper like this. And I just think he needs talking to about it. Like, imagine the even bigger scenario. He loses his temper. I mean, he just can't get used to doing stuff like that. You got to keep your mouth shut. I mean, imagine this is like a game that's deciding who's winning the league in March, he can't be, he's just got to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be riding the lightning at that point in the game, right? And he's done it in the past, but everybody's talked about him. I mean, I feel like he's far more mellow this year than he's been in years past, and he's conscious of it too. I don't know if you saw back during the PK8; it was actually pretty funny. ESPN had picked up on a thing where he had scribbled "Coach your team" on his wrist. So, like, look, it's going to be what it's going to be. He's still growing and evolving as a coach, but you're right, it can't happen.
Yeah. All right. Nice talking, Hot Balls.
No sweat. Thanks for coming on, man. All right, we'll get Sam in here. We're going to get Steven in here. And then Jake and Spence, I'm going to hang on to you guys. Just hang tight, and then we'll get you guys in here pretty soon. Sam, man, what you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, I just think we missed free throws. They made free throws. I mean, the foul disparity, whatever, like, it happens. They played cleaner than we did. There were a couple ticky-tack calls, but, like, whatever. We gotta take that and go. And we were dumb on offense. A lot of these fast breaks, we couldn't get points off of turnovers. We were throwing passes too heavy, and Sonogo or Klingon would catch it at the baseline instead of in the lane, and we couldn't get those easy fast break layups. That's one of the things that ruins the game. Obviously, yeah, you can't make a shot late. The technical foul, like, that all happens, but that's not as big of a problem if you can get the easy shots earlier in the game.
Right.
Foul disparity is also partially because we weren't being aggressive. We weren't driving.
Well, that was the other thing, particularly, it was driving me nuts about Newton today. Like, go to the fucking hole, man. Let's try to finish. They're all over him, right? And we were just trying to do too much to try and find. I felt we were trying to do too much to try to find that open three with some of our better shooters instead of just going to the hole, man. Like, go up, get fouled, get it the old-fashioned way. And it was a lot of that tonight. Like
Caravan's first big road game, he struggled shooting a little bit, and he fouled out. It happens. Like, we'll grow.
He had a rough day defensively too, man. Like, he gave up 3 and 1s.
Yeah, I mean,
like that. That's 9 points. That's legit difference. And he's look. I mean,
young.
People are. Well, I was seeing some tweets where people were in my timeline where people were like, they've only looked kind of okay the last 3 games. Guys, we're in league play now. Like, all of these teams have a wildly extensive book on us. All right. Like, everybody in this league is running scouts on each other all the time. Right. So, like, we're not just going to be able to do what we want to do at will. And there's going to have to be some adjustments that are going to have to be made. But like, overall, I mean, like, we just missed a fuck ton of open shots today. And it wasn't just Andre, who almost had a triple-double, by the way. So I'm not going to sit there and.
Yeah, I mean,
we're about
not a lot of teams are going into Xavier with that crowd and Xavier's shot making today and winning that game. It's not happening for a lot of teams.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got that. And then, there's obviously some other pieces that, come into play there. But, like, Alex Caravan missed some open shots. Joey Calcaterra missed some open shots. Like, guys that are normally not knocking down these shots or have They didn't go in today. They didn't turn the ball over. We weren't particularly clean, got caught out in between. So did the coaching staff. And when you add up that and you mix it all together, that's a pretty rough cocktail to try to slug down to try to win a basketball game. So, and for a stretch, it looked like they might. So, it is what it is kind of thing. All right, who else we got coming in here? We'll get Jake in. I'll get Spencer in. And Jake, I'm going to go to you first. All right, bud?
All right. I don't want to overreact, but, I feel like if we had Samson, it would have been a lot closer of a game just defensively, too. And I feel like he could probably shoot just as good as Caravan, if not better.
I'm not on there on the shooting thing, but getting up and down certainly would have helped. I mean, particularly when it comes to the help defense and stuff. The spot we got fucking massacred at today was the 4. Absolutely mauled. I want to say it was something that they were talking about. I was watching the game with Doster today, and the Hunter kid absolutely blew us up. That was rough. I mean, we were getting bullied at that spot every day, all day, and we didn't really have much of an answer for it. And so, yeah, I mean, hypothetically, I think the extra length and the rim protection with Samson probably would have made a pretty significant difference on that end. I mean, offensively, I mean, he's not a guy right now that I'm really expecting big buckets out of, but it certainly would have made the Fremantle shit and the Hunter shit a little bit less of an issue. But it seemed like they really kind of did focus in on that 4 and Alex a little bit defensively, and we're kind of picking on him a little bit. So, yeah, man, we'll see. What else you got for me, Jake?
No, that's pretty much it. Just the 4s killing us.
Yeah. All right. Spence, man, go for it. Take yourself off mute. What you got for me, brother?
Hey, 2 things. So first, I would have loved to see Sonogo and Klingon on the court at the same time today. I think today would have been a good opportunity to give that a go, even if it was just for, 3 or 4 minutes in the second half. I don't think even Klingon played in the second half, which is just mind-boggling in itself. And then the other thing would be that Jackson shooting 12 corners, and I know he didn't kill the game, and I know most of them were open 3-pointers, but I don't think there should be a world where Jackson's shooting twice as many 3-pointers as Hawkins.
Yeah, well, the problem is Hawkins had a hard time getting open all day. I mean, it was what it was. They really seemed to fixate in on him in terms of trying to limit the number of perimeter shots, and he still roasted them a couple times, but they were able to kind of mitigate the damage out there. But it's tough, man. It's really hard when you run the offensive sets that we do, and you're getting quite literally wide open threes, and then the way that we rebound the ball offensively, just to not take them. I would have liked to have seen us go inside. I felt like we got away from some stuff instead of I've always really liked that Andre to Sonogo connection. I feel like that's our offense's blankie, right? That's our pacifier when things get a little hairy. It's Andre feeding Sonogo in the post and getting a couple easy buckets, calming things down, and kind of going from there. And a lot of the post entry today was it was from Tristan and no offense to Sandiar or anything like that, but Andre wasn't feeding guys as much, and that's where I would have liked to have seen us just settle some things down. We just never got to that point, later in the game where we just took the foot off the gas a little bit. Run your sets, get an easy feed into Adama, get a 2, hope to get an and 1, something like that. Would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks. That's all I got.
All right. No. Who else do we got here? Anybody else wants to request up? Go ahead. Anybody? Oh, there's Mary. We'll get Mary in here. Mary, how are you today?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
I can
I
hear
have
you.
two
Are you in your
questions.
basement again, whispering?
I can't hear you very well, but we're good. I have two questions for you. First
Yes.
question is, are you going to go back to the pullover just washed, or are you going to wear something different?
I don't know. I got to find a new gimmick. We got to find a new thing.
Okay.
I'm going to have to wash that thing like twice, too. It smelled horrific. Like, it's not even like, it doesn't even smell like dog pee. It just smells like sort of just really old laundry. It's like almost got a, I know this is a weird adjective. It's got like a greasy smell to it. It's odd. So
I was really surprised your wife let you put other laundry in the washer with it.
Oh, that was the towels. We washed the towels kind of together aside from the other clothes. So I threw it in there with the towels. I figured that was the tactical way to go about that. She's also not here, so she doesn't know.
That makes more sense. Okay, second question is the basketball question. Do you feel like you learned anything about this team today that you didn't already know?
No.
Okay.
Like I'm just not like it's one of those things where we've hashed out like what it would look like to lose. Like what are the things that have to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And number one, we got to have a not great shooting day. Check, right? Probably a half step slow defensively, right? Check. Other team does something really uncharacteristic that they normally don't do, that they do on that particular day. Check. Xavier didn't turn the ball over like a bunch of maniacs. You put those things together, a couple bad decisions here, a couple timely calls there. Like, obviously, a brutal whistle today. Like, it was fucking brutal. But that's life in the Big East, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, I've always been on the record. I'm a huge anti-ref complainer. I like complaining about them during the game, but when it's done, it's done. And they clearly didn't help. But like, even the free throws we got today didn't make our free throws, right? And so you add it all together, and that's going to happen. We're on the road at arguably, I'd say, really outside of Gamble and the XL Center, it might be the toughest road game in the conference. You get a loss. They happen. Like, I'm not particularly concerned with anybody long term. I mean, there's some clear observations, like Joey Calcaterra finally starting to come back down to earth a little bit. Really hard to maintain like a 70% from three or whatever it was that he was shooting before. But it is what it is. They're going to be closer games. We're in the conference now. Teams have a scout on us. Teams have been keeping a very close eye on us for the first 14 games. So, I'm not particularly worried. But what I would say though is fans need to buckle up a little bit for the next couple games, because this might not be the only loss we have through this stretch. And I don't think, we're basically playing the entire top half of the conference. And, 3 of those games are on the road. And they're tough road games. And it's teams that I think are a little bit better matchup for us, for the other team, that we don't match up quite as well with, right? So, with the exception of Providence, I think we're better at every position than Providence. But, yeah, it is what it is. I'm just not worried. Or is there anything you're worried about?
Oh, good question. Is there anything I'm worried about? Honestly, no, I feel the same way you do. At one point, Xavier was shooting 67% from 2 and 60% from 3. And I don't think we're going to see that a whole lot. So, and like you said, like Jordan missing a few free throws, he's not going to do that a lot. Yeah, I'm not super, it's weird. Like they lost and you'd think that I would be really upset, but I'm not that worried. I'm really not. I don't know.
I'm not.
Is that weird? Is that weird?
it's weird. I was talking to my wife about this because the kids, they're actually just pulling in the driveway, which is funny. But, I was talking to her about this last night. Like, I feel like the loss in a way is a relief. Like, I'm not one of those old school guys that's like, we got to lose games before you go to the tournament. But, man, when you're in it and you're just winning games effortlessly, game after game, yeah, man, that shit gives me anxiety. And in a way, and I'll say this too, like, I'm really glad that the first loss was against Xavier. I actually like that fan base. So, like, I can only get so mad. Like, if we went on the road and fucking shit all over ourselves against Providence and had to deal with that, that would have been awful. Right. So, like, all things considered, like, I'll take it.
I think when you're a fraud and you lose, you're worried because you're exposed. But this is a good team. This is still a very good team.
Yeah, well, it's easy to fixate in on the things that didn't go well, and the guys that didn't have characteristic performances and all that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. Anything that goes wrong always looks way worse, right? When you lose a basketball game. So it is what it is.
Megan Bard.
Oh, hello, friends.
Hello.
It's halftime for the women's game right now. I thought I would jump in and join you all, commiserating.
Yeah.
I feel like we just talked about this like a few weeks ago. That I was looking at this on the calendar and being like, New Year's Eve at Xavier. That one looks like a tough one. We were like just talking about this, so I'm not like super surprised. They were, you're not going to go undefeated. That's not going to happen in the Big East. It's just not the way it goes. So I do feel like this is a game that would have been really valuable to have Samson Johnson in, and I'm going to think about that for the next several days.
The only thing, and I kind of the reason why I requested to speak is I'm a little anxious. Like, there's all this Xavier talk about Samson Johnson, who's played all of maybe 20 minutes for us, and it just seems like there's a lot expected from him, which deservedly so based on how he came in, but we haven't necessarily seen that yet on the court. He's coming off an injury where he played in the opening game and hasn't played since. You've got a group that's pretty gelled right now. I'm just not sure exactly how big of a role he's actually going to play. And I know, Megan, you were on the John Fanta pregame one.
Yeah.
And he admitted that he doesn't think Samson's going to play much at all.
Well, I think, coming in, it was like, is it going to be Karaban or Johnson starting? And obviously Karaban has had, a lock on the starting job, and I don't think that's going anywhere, but like, he was in foul trouble this whole game.
Yeah, no.
And we really needed some more size on the wing because, with playing against Nunji and Fremantle, and they keep pulling Sonogo out to the perimeter. You needed like one more slightly bigger body. And like, I hate to say this, but Alex is getting cooked a little bit.
I agree with you there. I just feel like, maybe there needs to be
they needed a different body type on the floor than they had today. And that particular piece, I think, would have been particularly useful against this specific lineup, and actually probably would have been useful against Georgetown as well.
Yeah, no, I think you have a good point there. I'm just not 100% sure how much you're going to see of him, or just based on.
He's coming off an injury, so it's going to be like a minutes restriction for the first few games, regardless.
No. Agreed. And given his body type, he's what you think this team needs. I'm just saying, like, I've just seen a lot going on there. That's like, oh, we need Samson. Samson's going to do this. Like, there's just a big build up for what's expected from Samson now for a guy you haven't seen really anything out of yet.
No, and I don't think anybody's expecting him to come in and play 30 minutes. I just think he would have been a useful piece to come off the bench.
No, agree wholeheartedly.
When Karaban was getting in trouble, on defense, and like, it sucks to lose a game. I nobody likes to lose a game, but like, Xavier's a good basketball team. They're good. Sintis was rocking. Like, props to the fan base. They showed up. They sounded great. Like, I'm sure that was a really hard place to play. They got some home cooking from the refs. I think we can all agree. Got some real home cooking. But it is what it is. You're gonna lose some games. And I completely agree. I would much rather lose to Xavier than fucking Providence. I'm really hoping that Andre Jackson comes in and he's like so angry he just decides to like ruin Bryce what's his face's just life in the next game.
Yeah, I that team, they're basically a poor man's player that we throw out in our starting five. So Devin Carter is a poor man's Andre Jackson. Bryce Hopkins is a poor man's Adamas Sanogo. I'm going to stick to that. I actually think Hopkins is kind of a dude. Ed Croswell sucks, though, and Jared Bynum's terrible. So I really like that matchup for us. I think we're going to punish the absolute piss out of them. And I think it's really funny, too, because
they're going to be so mad.
Like they're so excited to have us in the dunk, and half the people there are going to be UConn fans. That's going to be what's even funnier.
I just think it's going to be so fun. There's going to be at least 3 fights that break out.
100%.
Someone will get arrested. At least one person will get arrested at this basketball game, or like directly outside of the basketball game. Someone's going to emergency. Someone's going to jail.
Oh, Jesus, man. I knew it was bad. I didn't think it was this bad. So Zach Fremantle and Jerome Hunter at the 4 tonight. A combined 31 points, 16 rebounds.
Oh, Jesus. Stork is hurt. Oh, for the love of God.
Oh, come on.
You've got to be fucking kidding me right now. What just happened? Oh, no. Oh, no.
What happened? What did she do?
She goes up for a rebound, and the Marquette player just ran into her leg as she was landing. I think she like tweaked her left ankle, knee, something. Yeah, the trainer's out there. It's her knee. Yep, left knee. Oh, for the love of God!
I'm not laughing. But I am.
It's the most snake bitten. Oh, and she's being helped off the floor by her teammates. Oh no, barely putting any weight on it.
It's been an awesome day here at the University of Connecticut.
Fucking Christ. Well, I don't even know what to say. All right, she's walking off the court, but oh no. And AZ dressed it. She's not playing, but like she participated in warm-ups. She's like been cleared to play basketball. Yep. She just got her left knee like banged into and it kind of hyperextended a little bit. Oh no. Not terrible, but yeah, that's definitely does not feel fun. Oh, she's crying though. Oh, poor Dorka. Man, she broke her wrist last year at the end of the season. Then she broke her thumb in the Texas game. And, oh God, that poor kid. I feel so bad.
Megan, I think it was just knee to knee though. I think she's all right.
I hope so.
Larry, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Honestly, I feel fine. I expected a tough game today. I wasn't happy with kind of how we got manhandled down low, but we were up by 1 at halftime, which we shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
I mean, we just down the stretch, 3 minutes left. It was a close game, and we just didn't make plays. So I'm not overly upset. We're about to lose. I mean, we're bound to lose at some point. Since this is a tough place to play, I'm ready for Providence. Let's go beat Providence and all as well.
We're on to the Friars.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of was expecting this today a little bit. So we didn't shoot particularly well. I think teams are exposing us by having Andre shoot, and we got to figure that out. And we need to figure out the point guard situation, especially down the stretch. I don't trust Newton, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he had a shitty game today.
Did anyone else find it puzzling that we did not see Diarra at all down the stretch when we were having a really hard time getting stops?
Yes and no, and I think this is on the coaching staff, to be honest with you, because I felt like they got caught out in between because Dan kept throwing that 1-3-1 at them on and off to just kind of switch some stuff up, right? Get them out of their routine. And when you play that 1-3-1 zone, you want the longer guy in the zone, taking up more space. So I think that's why he kept Newton on the floor. But man, oh man, I would have liked to have seen Diarra back on the floor, especially when they're going man. Like we weren't locked into that 1-3-1. And I think I'm like free jamming here. I think that's what was probably going through their heads while they were leaving Newton out there. But then there were so many times where Tristan beat a guy off the fucking dribble and then was just looking too much for the kick. Like, go up with the fucking basketball, dude. Like,
He was also expecting, and in fairness, he does usually get he gets the foul call. Like he gets fouled and he was not getting calls. There were a couple that they definitely should have called and did not.
But
in my opinion.
But there's too many times where he just goes up. He goes up in the air without an out, right? Like he doesn't have a solution in place. He's going up and counting on that foul, but like he doesn't have an out. Like that's what frustrates me. I also think a key play in the game was Sanogo had the ball on a pass way down low, and he should have really called a timeout there instead of trying to throw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge play. I think we were down 2 there. You call timeout and you drop a play, and it's a different ball game. We just didn't make plays down the stretch.
We got Ben in here waiting patiently. Ben, what you got for us?
Yeah, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, word. I just wanted to say that, like, I think when we were really firing, we went back to that quote from Doster and the coach that was like, whoever it was, like, nailed their scout and had nothing. I thought Xavier really hit it with their scout today. I think when guys didn't have the ball and we're trying to move around screens, which has been so great for us, they were just in hell. They were, like, right up in our grill. Jordan really struggled at the top today, I think, with that. So, like, I think that's just – and we still, like, before they started hucking at the end, they were close to, like, 40% from three. So, like, it kind of got, like, a little underappreciated. But I thought, like, the offense really fought through some adversity today.
Yeah, I mean, we got a ton of open looks. We got a ton of fucking open looks. They just –
Yeah, and then just, like, out of curiosity, like, we were talking about the refs today. Do you know where, like, the UConn defense ranks in free throw rate allowed?
We do foul a lot. I know that.
I tweeted this out. They're number 328 in the country, which, like, it works, like, when you're pummeling teams and stuff, but, like, that's how you let, like, Georgetown hang around. Like, when you get into, like, the teams where you can't really afford to give them the freebies, like, that's something that, like, kind of has to get cut down a little bit, obviously.
Yeah, well, and certainly with teams that dribble drive, and they're a really good free throw shooting percentage team. I think they shot 82% from the free throw line today. But they didn't shoot particularly well from three either, which was kind of weird. They were 4 for 13. We took 37 3-pointers today. It's a lot. 35% today from 3-point land, but they shot 53.8%. So they basically shot 54% today. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, cutting down on the fouls will help a little bit. But I think, and Doster said this earlier too, which I thought was kind of an interesting point where he was talking about, Dan, they don't really care too much about the fouling just because we can go so deep, right? Today, I felt like might have been one of those games where he needed to run just a tighter rotation, and not away so many fouls. So, I don't know. I'd like to see him cut down the fouls a little bit, but it is what it is. The big thing today was the turnovers. They only turned the ball over 12 times today, which is uncharacteristic for them. So they took care of the basketball better than we did. Got the free throw line more than we did. What else we got? Oh, boy. Andy Picarillo is probably at Dana Gardens right now, so he's going to talk some good shit. So I'm going to let him come in and spew his filth. Here it comes. Incoming. Andy, man. Tee it high, let it fly, brother.
All right, HotBalls, how are we doing today?
Been better.
I mean, we all in all, we just saw an electric basketball game between the two best teams in the Big East. Like, that's a happy Saturday, in my opinion.
Yeah, marginally happy Saturday. Would have been a happier Saturday had the result been different. I would have been much happier with that. I am sour grapes about my dog pee pullover that you and Cap have killed it. That was not necessary.
I mean, personally, I'm not sorry, but all in all, like, overall, that was a hell of a day. Like, a hell of a basketball. Either way, like, I was going into the day, like, as long as we see a good basketball game between the obvious choices of the top two in the Big East, it's a good fucking day. And I think that's what we saw today. And honest to God, I think we're going to split home environment did help because that was electric. And
Yeah,
Gamble's doing the same
everybody,
thing.
all the Xavier beat guys were like, "This is the craziest that arena's been, probably since you guys knocked off Villanova a couple years ago."
They're like right up there. Like since Mac was here, that was the most electric environment I've ever been in, and I was in both. And honestly, it might have been better today. Recency bias and drunken bias might play an effect there.
Are you headed off to Dana Gardens now?
I'm walking back from Dana Gardens.
Oh boy, so you've got to be in very well. Are you trying
There's
to
a lot
pace
of
yourself
Jaeger in my
today?
liver right now. That's where the alcohol goes, right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, there's a lot of Jaeger in my liver and a lot of Bud Light. Because apparently Dana Gardens does not have Miller Lite, which is a crime.
What?
Yeah, like even after he got hired, Dana Gardens does not have Miller Lite, and that needs to change. So the owner's in Australia right now, so I think I'll talk to him about that after he gets back, because he can actually fix it. But yeah, it's a crime.
Terrible.
But like,
unbelievable. So you're gonna make it to midnight or what?
Am I gonna make to midnight? I don't know. I might be thrown off a bridge within the next like 5 or 6 hours. So that's a possibility. But my goal is to make it to midnight.
Well, take some advice from our good friend Big Larry in here. Do some logs. Just do a couple check-ins. Let us know that you're alive. That's all we ask. And I mean, I don't care what condition you're in, but as long as the heart's a pumping, just keep tweeting.
We're never gonna stop tweeting, and we're never gonna stop tweeting Xavier by 900. Shout out Big Larry. But I came in here for a specific reason, and that is we just saw the two best teams in the Big East, and why the hell are we talking about Providence?
I mean, I'm not really talking about Providence.
I open this space and I hear about people talking shit about Providence. They are nothing. They are absolutely nothing.
They suck. Yes,
they
stink.
are fucking terrible. And you guys are gonna kick the shit out of them. Like, enjoy your day. Don't think about Providence on a fucking Saturday.
Yeah,
they're not worth your time.
Hell yeah, Andy. Hell yeah.
Never think about Providence on the off day.
That's what I like to hear.
Oh boy. All right. Well, Andy, thanks a lot, man. Good luck. Hope you survive the rest of the day, and check in occasionally. And great game today. We'll see you guys back here in Hartford. You guys should come out.
Absolutely. If I can afford a plane ticket with this economy, then I will be out in Hartford. But all in all,
all right, man.
Is that game at Hartford or is that game at Gamble?
Are we at Gamble or are we Hartford?
I feel like that's a Gamble game.
It better be a Gamble.
I feel like after playing at Cintas, we really need to like have you at Gamble so we can have like match the energy, you know?
It would low key be a crime if it's not at Gamble.
I agree. Because I gotta give props. The Cintas was fucking rocking. You could hear it over the broadcast.
It was electric, and Gamble would be the same way. It needs to be there. It would be, honestly, we need to sue the Big East, and John Fanson needs to take over as commissioner if it is not a Gamble.
I'm all about frivolous lawsuits. You got an attorney in here. She's ready to go.
I'm ready.
All right, perfect. We got good representation. But all in all, good game tonight, y'all. You guys are my second favorite fan base in the Big East. Appreciate y'all. Happy New Year.
Same.
Happy New Year, Andy.
Happy New Year.
Congratulations. All right, I'm going to get him out of here just so he doesn't...
It's honestly hard to be that bad because that was like a genuinely great fucking basketball game. Like I can't be that mad. Like it sucks to lose, but like it was a great basketball game.
It was. In fairness to me, when I said UConn by 900, Xavier was posting wiggle dicks on TikTok. So, in fairness to me, that's a 900-point win.
Oh man, I hate losing. I'm a bad loser. I'm a bad winner, too. All right, Basil, man, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm just going to, do my little spiel, and I'll let you talk. Just watching the last couple of games, I've noticed the strategy defensively has just been to kind of sag off of Andre and just, bait him to shoot. So... what I'm thinking is either he's got to start getting a little better at his shot, or maybe we can get one of those screen curls coming off of one of our shooters, maybe a handoff, kind of get in the gaps. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see him doing a little bit more dribble drive. If they're just not going to if they're going to give him wide open shots, I mean, obviously I want him to take some of those. But to mix it up a little bit, maybe get the ball in the hand a little, some of our better shooters, they might mix it up a little bit, but that's going to be the adjustment and the tweak they're just going to have to make, heading forward. I think teams are just content to give Andre Jackson a triple double on the outside and let it ride. There's certain guys, in a rotation that their teams are just going to kind of let him do their thing. Yeah, he had 14 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists today.
How many shots did he take today and missed?
I don't know what the individual shooting percentage was. I'm trying to find that. I don't know if somebody wants to help me out here. I'm not quick on the draw right now.
I'm going to look.
See what that box score looks like.
Because that's like, I mean, that is a clear strategy. Like they saw it work with Villanova, and now it's like they see that.
Four for 12 on the outside today.
Yeah, I mean that's too many shots for sure.
4 for 12 on the outside today.
I don't know. I think like a curl screen. We got enough shooters to be able to do something like that, and if the pass is not there, just hand it off or make the pass, or if he's just got to shoot it when he feels it. Like he can't be shooting that much. It's crazy.
I'm trying to see here. Trying to get his percentage. I can't. It's not coming up. Ken Palm's being a slow dork with me today. Not helping me out.
I like the confidence though. I like seeing him confident taking the shot, and his shot looks good. I'm not gonna lie. It's like he has good form, like better than last year. Not the best form, but it gotten much better. But he's just got to stick to his strengths, and until he gets better at that shot, maybe try a few different things.
Yeah, they'll make the adjustment. I mean, that's the thing. Teams have got a scout on us now, so it's just like every other year, man. Marquette got off to a really good start last year too. Got a scout on him. Didn't look so hot, so got to make those adjustments. It is what it is.
Yep, that's all I got to say.
All right. We got Nate Bodner wants to come in, and then who else we got in the waiting room here? We got the Jerome Hunter fan club. He's having the best day ever. Nate, man, what you got for us? Good old Nate Bodner going once.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, first time talking here. So hey, y'all.
Yeah, no sweat.
So yeah, I mostly had a question for you guys, but also was just kind of, I guess, two quick statements. I thought we objectively were just outcoached on our personnel rotations and just how Hurley managed that game versus Sean Miller. And then I think kind of an 8 versus 5 game with the refs, and you could say 8 versus 4 with how poorly Newton played. But my question is, Caravan, do we kind of, because he's been a solid freshman, right? And I feel like the last couple games he's tailored off a little bit. Are we off the caravan, or how are we feeling about him?
No, I just think I think he's missing some open shots. He's gone a little cold from deep, and he's not a great defender.
Yeah, he also has
right now.
He also gave up some and ones, 3 or 4 of them today. I mean,
3.
So
gave up 3. Yeah, it was for 9 points. And I mean, it's Dan's been very upfront about that. That was part of the biggest question with him early on when him and Sampson were kind of tussling for that starting job. It was how much can Alex help us defensively, right? And I think teams have zeroed in a little bit on him. And just him getting absolutely cooked off some motion today really led to that. I think this is where Sampson's going to help us out. Is he's much better defender. I mean, obviously Caravan's more of your offensive option at the 4 there. Sampson's certainly going to be more of a defensive option, I think, there. And so, that's a point where you've got 2 kind of complementary pieces, and we talked about it before in terms of running rotations that work for the matchup that you're having, right? I think that's kind of, it's picture perfect example of that today, right? Where Caravan and Megan alluded to this too, where, just the kind of body type that he had today, that wasn't conducive to that matchup. I mean, he got fucking picked on badly today. Fouled out of the game, 31 points, 17 rebounds for them at the 4. Like, that ain't getting it done, man. So, again, you have these little soft underbellies here that kind of will bubble up to the surface in conference play that you don't see when you're not in conference. And, thankfully, I think we'll have the piece to maybe make that adjustment. But
I guess so too.
Are you asking me am I concerned? No, I mean, he's a freshman.
But with him too, though, like there are people that naturally have athletic ability, right? I don't think he's necessarily one of those. He's not terrible, but he's not great. So, like, just from a development perspective, like, what are we looking at? 2 years from now?
Well, I mean, I think he's
going to be a Niels Giffey.
I think he's going to be a sensational basketball player. I kind of think he already is. I mean, he's so polished for a freshman offensively, like just polished, like doesn't make a lot of bad decisions. He's been a little cold the last, week and a half, 2 weeks, but it's really hard to him and Joey C particularly, like it's so hard to keep up that pace where you're shooting like 60-70% from 3. Like that's not real life. So, look, I think, he's years ahead in terms of basketball IQ, overall feel for the game as to where a freshman should be at this point in his career. Defensively is where he needs to work, and a part of that's going to be getting bigger and stronger, the weight room, all those kinds of things. So like, most college basketball players, they have weaknesses. His is on the defensive end of things, and it's going to kind of be what it is. I just hope that it doesn't get to a point where it becomes a liability. Because today his defense was a liability. So, but it is what it is. I mean, as a freshman, I think his upside's very, very, very high.
Yep, cool. That's all I got. Thanks for taking me.
Yep. All right. Well, I got to get Jerome Hunter fan club in here. He's probably going to tee it high and let it fly. He had probably the best day ever today. So congratulate him on a fantastic outing. Jerome Hunter fan club, how happy are you right now? Here it comes. Jerome Hunter fan club, going once, going twice. This is your chance. God damn it, I'm so bummed. I had high hopes for that one. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. I may come on later to do some spacing, maybe closer to New Year's Eve. So if you guys are not doing anything, sitting at home, you're bored, that's what I'm doing. I'm over 4 years old, so I don't go out and plow myself into the side of buildings and do whatever else you fucking freaks do on New Year's Eve. So if you're around, you're bored, feel free. Jerome Hunter's back. I'm going to let him have last word here, and I'll wrap it up. All right, Jerome, you got your mic, man. How good of a day are you having?
I'm so severely drunk that I'm never going to touch a car for like another week. So, drive safe, everyone.
I feel like they make you Xavier fans all in like the same drug factory.
Well, I
is there like some factory out in like little machining thing out in the back of Dana Gardens where they make you out of like spare parts from like Cincinnati and Ohio State fans? Like, is that how that works?
First of all, don't group us with Ohio State fans. They can't fill half that stadium, so I don't even want to hear it. Second of all, okay, you know what? Some of us diehard fans are degenerates. Okay, yeah, I'm a degenerate. Like that's just how it is, and that's how it's gonna be. But hey, I'm a small business reporter. And the more beers I buy, the more bars that stay in business. So,
there you go. Helping the economy out, doing your part to reduce inflation.
Yeah. That 7% inflation is not rocking with me. So I'm just going to buy some more Millers, try to help everyone out, So Biden.
Alcohol sales are always a big buy in depressed economies.
But, I don't know how the game looked on TV, but I mean, obviously from a UConn perspective, it sucks to lose that one. But I mean, if you're looking from a Big East perspective, that was a hell of a game, I think. That's a hell of a game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I'm not going to go on here and try to be an ass because, if it was the other way around, I'd probably be dead in a ditch right now. But hell of a game, dude. Hell of a fucking game.
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun, and congratulations on the big
I
win.
can't wait.
Jerome Hunter, I'm sure you're going to give him a big fat kiss later tonight
Well,
at
you
midnight.
know what?
Is that who you're going to kiss at midnight?
If he opens up, we'll do a little bit more than kissing. But hey, I can't. Hey, whenever we come to UConn, I can't wait. That's gonna be a fun revenge game.
Absolutely.
All right,
Man.
shout out UConn.
Well,
Shout out UConn.
All right, appreciate it, man. You have a great rest of your night, and try not to die.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's to you too.
Just want to confirm, I did look, and we are playing Xavier at Gamble. So,
all right,
the rematch will be in its appropriate location.
There we go. Well, that's good. They will not enjoy themselves. I promise you.
We will, though. That'll be fun
We'll
for
have
us.
a lot of fun. I'm gonna have fun.
All right. Certainly, I hope we all have fun.
I'm gonna pull the plug on this. My wife's giving me the hairy eyeball. So we have a little New Year's thing that we're gonna do with some friends down the street. And then we're gonna come back here around 8:00 and do our thing. But maybe I'll space this later. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll buy some beer and we'll act like idiots. But guys, want to thank you for listening. Tough one today. Look, we'll probably do, I don't know, maybe we'll do a spaces sometime before the Providence game, but try to pull something off tonight. If not, we'll see you after the PC game for sure. But thanks again for listening. I appreciate it. And as always, guys, keep in touch with yourselves. Good night.
Go ahead.